1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. Pushing it out.
We are in Panama City. We're actually here for the next couple of days. We look like we are shooting an episode of Cops. We got the GMC Black, Yukon Denali. I'm in the shades, and then we got a camera guy in the back, so we are ready to go if we are gonna shoot an episode of Cops. But we're not doing that today. We are meeting with Eddie Gallagher, longtime combat veteran Navy SEAL. He's a chief. He has a huge amount of accolades, so definitely honored to go ahead, get to do some shooting with him. So we're on our way to the range. We're gonna do a training session also. So I'm gonna run him through a condensed conjugate session, and then we're also gonna do a podcast tomorrow. Probably do some jiu-jitsu as well, so stay tuned for the next videos. Here we go. Eddie Gallagher, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
So we're at Stronghold Solutions at Defuniak Springs. It's a DOD / we use it some civilian courses here. 5 different ranges. We got a 2-story kill house. Brandon Graves, Green Break. This was his vision, so we worked on building it the past couple of years. It just opened this year, so it's been really awesome being able to come here and work and instruct.
Yeah, well, he's gonna go ahead. I've shot in the past, but this is another level. He's gonna run me through some stuff and teach me some things, so follow along, let's do it.
What we have here, this is the shooting hand. You have all these gaps, so you want to cover those gaps as best as possible with your non-shooting hand. Closing all these gaps, what it does is it gives the gun less room to manipulate you in your hand, right? You want to control the gun, so the first thing you do is control all the gaps of that gun. And then you want to have a proper stance as well. Just like any kind of fighting stance, you want to have, the feet shoulder width apart, a slight bend in the knees, and since I'm lefty, my left foot just takes a little step back just like so. So you're pretty much in a fighting stance. The reason you want to have an athletic stance is because if you do get in a gunfight with somebody, that person's not going to stay where they're at, and you should not stay where you're at when you're shooting at each other, right? So you want to be able to move dynamically back and forth as you're engaging that target.
Am I worrying about my lats at all, or am I staying loose here?
That's a good question. So you want to have this grip with your main shooting hand about at 30%.
Okay.
This brings in the other 70. The main grip is with your non-shooting hand. Now, I'll say this, when you are put into a situation where you are engaging somebody, you will be 100-100. Gotcha. Everything's going to naturally ramp up. Yeah. And I always say train like you fight. Yeah. So I don't harp on too much on make sure you're at just 30 here and 70 here. You want to have a good grip on that gun, okay? But at the same time, I want you to sort of remember that 30-70 rule, because that does come into play, especially if your rounds start going to the right or left. It's usually due to the fact that either this hand is overcompensating, and that's one of the main things I see with shooters when they come out is this hand is gripping and they barely have a grip on this one, and what you'll see is this will shake. Yeah. And then their rounds will start going either low left, low right, depending on what hand they are. The lat thing, so as you're out here, what I tell people, because some people do come here and they're not strong enough sometimes, so what I do to help them is when you're out here, I just squeeze my pecs together. Okay. That's it. And that way you're not wearing out your shoulders, you're not wearing out your triceps. Okay. You just squeeze them together, and that'll keep it on target more. Just like you're presenting your gun, just normally, right? And you don't flex or anything. So if I came up, I can do that. Now point it out and flex your chest, your trap muscles, right? That's what you're doing to the gun too. Okay. Right. So it's keeping right there. You're just going to come out, and I want you to count, and then I'll count the first couple for you. Okay. Is 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, up to 5 1000, and at the 5 1000 is where you are pulling that trigger and sending the round. Okay. All right. Take a breath. Bring it back. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5. And what that does is, why we're counting so long, is you're going to go over in your head as we keep going through this each of the basic fundamentals that I just put out, because it is like drinking through a fire hose for a lot of people. So I do this drill over and over to get them used to the basic fundamentals and make sure that their grip is good, their trigger squeeze is good, the way they're presenting is good. So we'll do that, and then we'll speed up the time as we go.
That's important, because a lot of people I know want to just get after it and want to move around and they don't even have basic skills.
No, and so the kind of training that I put on here, and it's not anything that's new, is called lizard brain training. The way a lizard's brain works, all it knows how to survive and eat. So it's in fight or flight mode. We have the fight or flight mode, but we also have the stay and play, right? When you're put in a stressful situation, if you have not trained for that specific scenario, your fight or flight is going to take over, and you are going to go to the last thing that you know how to do. If you have not practiced the basic fundamentals, and if you've come out to the range just to get after it, like I just want to send rounds down range, and you're doing everything wrong, that's exactly what your brain is going to revert back to. So that's why we do this type of training and drill it over and over, slow, monotonous, so that way once something does happen, your lizard brain's going to kick in and you're like, dude, I know exactly what to do in this situation.
Gotcha.
And that's how we train in the SEAL teams, and I think that's what blows people away is like, we don't come out and do all this sexy shit. We literally do the basics for hours and hours and hours, weeks and weeks on end, until, I mean, our fingers are bleeding and everything, and it does suck at times, but at the same time it pays dividends. When we do go overseas and we're put in those situations, you're reacting the way you should be. 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000.
See that shot, by the way?
It's a nice little shot group.
See that shot? Jeez.
5 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. All the work you do with this gun is going to be right here. This is your fight space, all right? It's the same concept as boxing or whatever. Like, you want to keep your hands up here, right? That way you can fend anybody off or do whatever. It's the same with the gun. I want to keep it here. That way, if I do need to, you know, re-engage again, I can quickly do a mag change and start shooting from here. Or if somebody encroaches on me, I hit them with the pistol. So you hear the buzzer, present, shoot,
Okay.
and then I'll give you your time. Nice. So,
Yep, see, that's why you gotta get your weight down. You fucking almost broke the thing.
all right. For this next one, we will practice from the holster. When I do pull the pistol out, I'm bringing it automatically, orientating it downrange. 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4. Nice. 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Nice. Here is where I want to take my time, and, you know, get those sights. But here is, I can go as fast as I want. This next drill we'll do same premise as with the pistol on these targets. We'll just go over some high ready, low ready points.
And this is yours, right? This is
this is the Seek Battle rifle. I sell these at Precision Tactical up in Crestview. They were like, hey, we want to build a gun after you. I told them I wouldn't do it unless it was up to my specs, which they were completely on board with. So I went and researched all the best parts, you know, from different gun companies, and pretty much piecemealed this gun together from that.
Where can we get it?
Off of Precision Tactical website, or you can go on theeddie-gallagher.com. This is also the pistol that we sell.
Nice. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I was super accurate with that one, by the way.
I push out and back in. So it's just, boom. I'm bringing it right to my cheek. So that's like a touch point.
Yeah.
So as I come here, I'm here, and I'm already ready to engage. 3 1,000, 4 1,000.
With any good teacher, good coach, you pay attention to the details. When he was giving me cues and proper technique to actually switch things up to make it more suitable for me, that's how you can tell a good coach, right? That's how you can tell a good teacher that there is some comparisons. No matter what you're doing, you definitely have to make sure that you're repeating and having quality repetition, not just repeating over and over again. So once you get that down, once you get that, what we call unconscious competence, to be able to do it like second nature, then it becomes, how do I make it more intense, right? So now we're gonna be moving. And so that's how you can gauge your performance. That's how you can gauge your progression. But it starts with the basics. So we started with the basics, learning the fundamentals of shooting, learning the fundamentals of how to set up, making sure my targets are aligned, and then taking my time. So that's huge when it comes down to anything. When it comes down to striking sports, any type of combat sport, tactical, and then also in your training as a weightlifter.
It's all about the basics. That one through here, and you're gonna run, sling your rifle down, pistol out, boom, boom, knock down all 6 plates. Hit. High. Hit. Hit. Nice. Nice.
So now we're working hip dexterity too. So you got that external rotation, spread, open, open, good, chest tall, shoulder blades back, good. Spread the floor and hamstring curl up. Big toe pressure, don't lose it. Good. Sit back, sit back, sit back, sit back. Spread the floor apart, stand tall, up, go, go, squeeze, perfect, relax. Are you doing back squats?
Yeah.
Eliminate them. Because right now, this isn't gonna be good for you. Under load over time, what are you doing? Like you're rounding that sacrum and it's hitting every time. You want each spinal segment to go over the train tracks optimally, right? You see how it goes over one by one by one. When you have that rounding, it doesn't go through optimally. You wanna maintain stability in the lumbar and sacrum. Lock this in place. You're gonna flex the foot. We're gonna drive up. Good, and then you're gonna rotate. Small rotations, right? And when I mean small, it's just a small ankle. So we're not moving the knee at all. Everything's locked in. You're gonna get 5 one side and then 5 the other way. You're lacking a lot of dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So if we can keep continuing doing those controlled articular rotations, you're gonna get more range in that ankle. Notice when you get into that one position where it kind of goes fast. Usually when you go fast through a range, you don't have control in that range. So just like anything, you find a weak link. We exploited that weak link. Let's stay there and let's work it so that it's not a weak link anymore, right? So like, okay, now I'll get to here and I'll go fast. We'll stay there and work around that range. You're gonna do basically a pales and rails contraction. So progressive and regressive angular isometrics. All you're doing is isometric tension, either on the antagonist side or the agonist side. So what I want you to do first is you're gonna drive into the end range like you're doing, and then I want you to push down into the ground. So you're actually plantar flexing as you get into the end range. So you should push, 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 but don't push out, right? So you're pushing against your own body weight right here. And I'm pushing into the ground. Then after that, after 100% for about 5 to 10 seconds, you're gonna let off, right? And go into a rails contraction. So you're gonna stay in this end range, and now you're gonna pull, right? So you're gonna pull your toes up to your shin, but you're not gonna fall back. So we stay in this position, and you're gonna activate, right, the tibialis anterior to pull the foot into dorsiflexion, right? So you just hold it right there. Nothing will move, but you're activating the muscle.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Because we're actively stretching out the calf, right? The gastroc soleus. So we're actively stretching it out by activating the antagonist. Okay, press down, 50%. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, go. Drive, 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 drive. Come on, come on. Keep it going. Drive, drive, 5, 4, 3, slowly let off, 80%, 70, 60, keep it there, 50, we're driving the feet up now, but don't lose this position, and go, drive, drive, good, keep going, keep going, keep going, don't lose the position, don't lose the position, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, relax, sit into the stretch, much better. Okay, we're getting there. It's more about like pinpointing out the major issues first, but once you develop better understanding and better active in-range control in all joint capsules, like your movement is going to enhance. And then you'll get to see and feel muscles that are supposed to be turned on that actually move the load, right? As opposed to just using momentum or a mechanical advantage. We wanna get to both points. We wanna be able to use everything neuromuscularly, right? But also be able to stabilize and mobilize. And if you don't have that function, then you can't produce force in a good position, because then you put yourself in a bad position. When you gain more range in your joints, it opens up a bigger toolbox for you to work in, right? Otherwise, you're limited. Yeah. Like right now, I wouldn't have you snatch, right? I just wanted to see where your body placement was and if we could correct it. But just because you don't have optimal shoulder flexion with no load, I wouldn't load shoulder flexion. You see what I'm saying? You don't have the capacity in each joint to withstand that load over time. Because you're resilient, because you're strong, you're capable of doing it. Yeah. But again, over time. So what I would say is, like, let's get more shoulder flexion. In the meantime, let's just work on pulling the body back. Let's get the fundamental movement patterns down, right? And then let's get that kinematic sequence to a T. Just like you were showing me at the range, it's just understanding that sequence. Just show me a basic squat that you had, like the regular squat that you would do. Okay, come on up. I would say don't go that low. right? So you want to go to a point where your ankles are in that optimal position of flexion, your hips are in the optimal position of flexion, and your knees are. The moment you start to go like that, you're out of position. Go with the hinge first. So I want your hips and then your knees to come down. And as you come down, think about spreading the floor apart. Don't think about pushing down or dropping your hips low. Think about giving lateral force displacement. So I'm pushing the floor apart as I'm coming down. That's gonna stabilize my hip and allow you to get more of that the up and down factor, right? So hips first, then knees, right? Then ankles. All right, let's do it. Good, okay. Now you see that? Okay, so spread your feet out a little bit more. Okay, and I want you to think about sitting your hips back more. Okay, and then as you sit back, spread open, right? And load the hamstrings more. Let's do it. Much better. Okay, do you feel the difference there?
Yeah.
You see how much that's more optimal?
Yep.
Just you're in a better position to withstand load. So if you were to squat under load, I would say do it with that position right there.
Position and come down to about right here.
Yep, because look what happens, right? If feet start to collapse, you get this collapsing here. We don't want that because you're losing here. So push, lateral force, right? Push the floor apart. Yep. You feel that turn on?
Yep.
Okay. Now, as you stand, squeeze the glute and just stand tall, just like a hip kettlebell swing. Glute on, right? Now, again, same thing. Hips back first, back, back. Now, open, open, open. Yep, good. Hold that right there. Spread the floor apart and come up. Much better. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Battle tested, my post-workout recovery training supplement is now available. Link is in the description. Again, this is all the formulations that I put together in one bottle to make you recover so that you can train harder and progress going further. All right, check it out. Link is down below.